We start by seeing Joy, who is talking to her best friend Carmen on the phone while getting ready for dinner. Carmen asks Joy where she is, but Joy hangs up the call when Derek enters the house. Their dog is waiting for Derek to pay attention to him, but he seems tired and frustrated. He comes in and settles down as Joy surprises him with dinner, describing the menu for the night. Derek is not impressed, becoming frustrated with the idea that Joy made dinner. He starts fiddling with his lighter, apparently something that makes Joy uncomfortable. As Derek becomes more frustrated, Joy feels speechless, unable to respond to him in his current state. Derek sits down and realizes he is being unfair, acknowledging his bad behavior. He asks Joy to sit on his lap and talks about how stressful his life is and how it affects his mood. Joy listens to him attentively, but Derek is not interested in what she has to say. Desire takes over him, and he immediately grabs her. The two begin to give in to love, but as things heat up, Joy ultimately becomes unable to continue. Derek looks at her as she apologizes, but her apology means little to him as he is disappointed. Joy apologizes again, but now Derek's anger management issues take over as the frustrated man throws himself over Joy, strangling her until she submits. Joy slowly loses her breath as Derek forces the air out of her until she loses consciousness. When he releases her neck, Joy seizes the opportunity to punch Derek in the face so she can escape. Realizing that the woman was pretending to lose consciousness, he chases after her, but Joy manages to lock herself in a room. Derek demands that she open the door, simultaneously banging on it. Joy, fearing for her life, shouts back and refuses to comply. Suddenly, Derek moves away from the door and a loud crashing sound comes from it. Joy realizes that Derek is now silent, so she inspects the situation in the living room. Derek threw their dog against the door, immediately ending the poor animal's life. Now the angry man changes his expression to one of regret, leaving Joy to face the tragedy before her. Some time passes, and Joy is now in another house with Carmen, waiting for her friend outside. Tara and Carmen have been waiting for a while, getting ready to go on a road trip. Joy leaves the house with her bags and throws them in the trunk of the car. In a hurry, she gets in, and Carmen prepares to leave. While the three of them are in the car, Carmen talks to Joy. Joy has spent 6 months without Derek, which Carmen decides to celebrate by sending her flowers in a vase. Joy is not impressed with Carmen's cheerful gesture, but still compliments the gift and appreciates the thought. Carmen then asks about Joy's well-being, concerned that she is wearing the same clothes she wore 2 days ago. Joy denies any issue, but Carmen persists that Joy is having a breakdown and needs to get herself together for the weekend retreat. The three of them are going on this trip to deal with past traumas, which Joy believes will probably not help. Carmen mentions that everyone has had horrible experiences and that they must accept the help that Dr. Dunley is offering to overcome their traumas. Dr. Dunley seems responsible for helping their therapy group, trying to help all her patients overcome their horrible pasts. While Tara initially jokes about the woman, she acknowledges that Dr. Dunley's treatment is legitimate. Finally, Joy accepts their testimonies and agrees to try to overcome her trauma. They drive down the road and enter nature, where the retreat is in an outdoor space, spending the weekend camping together. As they pass through the forest, Tara talks about specific rules on how to interact with her. A hood up implies that she does not want to interact with anyone, and the opposite means she is willing to chat. The three eventually drive toward Little Deer Lake. This camping location is far away. They pass a wrecked car without noticing. Joy gives directions to Carmen as they go deeper into the wilderness. Up ahead, a man with a bow and arrow crosses their path. He and his partner approach the car, saying they are looking for their dog. The three of them, knowing nothing about the man's dog, cannot help him, so he lets them go, informing them about the location of his camp in case they need help. The three then joke about the man before moving away. On the way to the camp, Joy appears horrifically shaken by encountering the man with the bow and arrow. The mention of the dog reminds her of her experience with Derek, which still haunts her today. She needs this retreat to work, as her experience overwhelms her even in everyday situations. Eventually, the three arrive at the camp, where Dr. Dunley is conducting funny-looking exercises on a girl named Shayna. Joy and Carmen mock the scene before them, but Tara explains that it is a useful exercise to relieve the body. When Tara gets out of the car, Carmen talks to her friend, realizing that being exposed like this probably makes her feel vulnerable, ensuring that she is safe. After Carmen leaves the vehicle, Joy begins to reassure herself that she is safe until Dr. Dunley walks to the car window to introduce herself. Dunley also insists that Joy call her doctor, a statement that seems like Dr. Dunley wants group members to respect her more than others. Leaving that awkward conversation, the group begins to walk with backpacks down a steep slope through the forest. They hesitate at first, but Dr. Dunley assures them that they can make the journey. As the group enters the forest, Joy looks back at Dr. Dunley, who is looking at them in a strange way. While walking through the forest, Shayna starts a conversation with Joy, insisting to know why she is there. Dunley eventually needs to intervene as Joy becomes increasingly irritated. Shayna understands and agrees to share her trauma first. She is a veteran who has been through a lot on her missions in Afghanistan as a soldier. After telling her story, she pushes Joy to share her trauma. Joy decides to explain what happened to her and Derek, but Shayna seems to underestimate her situation, even mocking her for being so shaken by her trauma. Shayna walks to the front of the group, while Joy stops and looks in disbelief. Shayna has trouble understanding people from her perspective. As the group continues, they come across a broken cell phone on the ground. They deduce that maybe someone was attacked by a bear. The group feels a bit uncomfortable with the possibility of bears inhabiting the forest, but Shayna pulls out bear spray as a precaution in case they encounter one during this situation. Joy suspects that Dr. Dunley may have planted the broken cell phone, thinking this could be part of her treatment. Dr. Dunley gives a vague response while Joy admits that the idea of bears invading the camp frightens her. Shayna, Tara, and Carmen share relevant testimonies about their problems. Dr. Dunley seems to be watching them with a serious look. The three testimonies show that each person struggles to see results from their efforts. Carmen especially feels that she cannot help her best friend Joy, who has been by her side through highs and lows. Meanwhile, at the camp, Shayna lies down, looking at a photo that appears to be of her family. Joy and Carmen joke while Tara carves a wooden figure, watching the two best friends enjoy each other's company. In her sleep, Joy dreams of blood filling a lake. Then she sees Derek during his rage during her traumatic experience, until the sequence ends with an image of a strange, bloody creature in the dark. Waking up with the rest of the group preparing to move deeper into nature, Joy struggles to get up, but eventually grabs her things and prepares to leave. As the group restarts their journey further into the forest, Joy feels like someone is watching her. The rest of the group does not seem to feel that way, so she ignores it, thinking that her trauma might be overcoming her. The group moves on until Tara hears a buzzing sound. She then leads the group to a stream where a strange smell has taken over the water. They look at the stream, realizing the water is unsafe to drink, and they did not bring enough with them. Joy, now clearly worried, asks if they are certain there will be potable water at some point in their journey. Dr. Dunley reassures them that they will eventually find water. Shayna also mentions that there is another stream on their way. The group continues their journey together until Dr. Dunley has them start a trust exercise. The group splits into pairs for this specific exercise. Joy is initially uncertain, but Carmen reassures her that she will be safe, so Joy blindfolds herself and puts her faith in her best friend. Meanwhile, Tara is blindfolded, and Shayna guides her through the forest. As they walk through the forest, Shayna continues to make a crying sound, which irritates Tara. Despite Tara's repeated requests for her to stop, Shayna keeps making the sound, eventually leading Tara to remove her blindfold and abandon the experiment. Shayna just wanted to test Tara to see if she could identify the sound, but realizes she may have made a mistake. Carmen and Joy are engaged in their exercise until Joy hears Derek's voice, startling her enough to remove the blindfold. Joy looks at Carmen, realizing she is not reacting at all to hearing Derek in the forest, thinking that something may be wrong with the retreat part. She rushes toward Dunley, furious at the uncertainty of where they are. Dr. Dunley reassures her that this is part of the treatment for the benefit of the group. Joy is still angry with the doctor, but Carmen accompanies her so they can talk privately. Carmen confronts her best friend about why she is acting so strangely with her. Joy seems to be justifying her discomfort, blaming it on the danger of not knowing where they are, but insists that something else is wrong, discovering that Joy is hearing Derek's voice in the forest. Carmen blames this on Joy constantly remembering her trauma. Hearing such an insensitive observation, Joy steps away angrily. Meanwhile, we see Tara alone in the forest, taking a cigarette from the box to satisfy her craving to smoke. As she begins to light her cigarette, she notices someone among the trees and sees their hands covered in blood and tied with plastic ribbons. Hallucinating, she backs away, bumping into Joy and getting startled. Tara seems to have seen someone, which also leaves Joy even more paranoid. Tara admits to having been delirious in the past, possibly explaining her current vision as another hallucination. She inspects her wrists, exposing marks where she imagined blood. Joy shares her experience of hearing Derek, but Tara insists that nothing is wrong, and then heads back to camp. The two return when Tara is suddenly alarmed by something in front of her. The group is inspecting the mutilated head of a deer, raising fear among some members. Dr. Dunley insists that everyone is safe and then asks the group to stay together and head toward the next destination. The group continues to move as Tara talks to Dr. Dunley about something, and Joy stops upon hearing the sound of Derek's lighter, but it soon fades away. She comes back to reality after Carmen calls her. Joy then asks about Tara, but Carmen cannot share such a secret, as it is not hers to share. They are now at the top of a steep, rocky slope. Joy looks down, irritated, but eventually begins to descend. She still feels like she is being watched, but follows the rest of the group anyway. The group is now in a narrow corridor formed naturally in the terrain. Everyone feels the different stones, enjoying the textures, except Joy. Joy starts to hear voices, making her increasingly irritated. Eventually, Carmen calls to her, and Joy looks around one last time to see if anyone is truly watching them. Upon reaching the river, the group takes a break. Joy thinks about a past experience with Derek sometime after her incident with him. While everyone eats together, Joy talks to Dr. Dunley about their retreat. Dr. Dunley's biggest fear is causing harm to her patients, so she assures them that her choice for this trip is safe. This part of nature is supposedly sacred, known as a place where people heal. They believe that a spirit resides in nature, one that heals in exchange for offerings. Eventually, people abandon the spirit, leaving no knowledge of what may have happened to it. Shayna interrupts the conversation, as everyone needs to start moving toward a nearby flat surface to set up camp. Everyone moves away, with Shayna helping the doctor, leaving Joy and Carmen behind. Joy tries to reconcile with her best friend, asking her to keep her company while she goes to the bathroom. The two seem to be back to normal with each other, joking and having fun. Eventually, Carmen's teasing makes Joy tell her to go back to the group. Meanwhile, Tara talks about what she experienced alone in the forest. Shayna tries to intervene in their conversation, but Dr. Dunley cuts her off and sends her away. The two then talk more about Tara, who feels more at peace in nature. Carmen is returning to the rest of the group, smiling about something, when she suddenly realizes that someone is watching her. Joy, now completely alone, feels that someone is near as well. Thinking that Carmen is trying to scare her, she looks around only to find Carmen missing. Joy is now worried that a stranger is nearby, becoming increasingly fearful. She hears the sound of the lighter and her dog behind her but sees no one. She keeps looking until she eventually sees Derek in the forest. However, she is merely hallucinating as he disappears immediately afterward. These visions force her throat to tighten, making her clutch her neck. She is having a panic attack, but Carmen manages to reach her before the situation worsens. She takes her back to the rest of the group, where everyone helps her regain her composure. She shares her experience with the rest, which even Tara admits to having experienced something peculiar. Shayna now puts some of her belongings in a bag to ensure bears cannot smell anything at night. Then, Carmen lights a fire for the group to gather around to stay warm on that cold night. Dr. Dunley then starts talking to Joy. Joy does not like that others are discussing her situation, but she lets them share their thoughts and moves on. Everyone then prepares to sleep for the night. Joy falls asleep and hallucinates Derek floating above her. This vision terrifies her immensely, forcing her to scream. Joy then decides to leave her tent, taking her lantern with her. She tries to call Carmen, but hears no response, so she moves away from the tents in search of answers. She continues to look around, eventually getting startled by Tara and Carmen, who are collecting firewood. The three then sit around a campfire and share more about themselves. Tara used to go on camping trips with her family in the past, holding a knife that is a souvenir from those times. The three then talk about why they are all awake. Joy shares more details about her nightmare, describing the shadowy man with rotting wounds hovering over her. Tara looks at Joy in disbelief, having had the same nightmare. The three realize that something peculiar is happening, so they decide to sleep together in the same tent. Morning begins with the sound of Shayna banging pots to alarm everyone at camp. Joy wakes up and finds Tara missing when suddenly Shayna's scream is heard near the stream. The food they stored earlier is now gone, causing the group to panic over not having the essential items they will need for survival. Dr. Dunley thinks it's a prank, then deduces that Tara is having an episode and playing a trick on the rest of the campers. The doctor goes out alone in search of her missing group member. She walks through the woods and starts to hallucinate like Tara and Joy. The group hears the scream of Dr. Dunley in response, to which Shayna immediately runs toward the source of the sound. Joy and Carmen run after her, and the three try to find Dr. Dunley. They see strange marks on the trees, bear spray, and blood as they cross through the woods. Shayna is losing her composure, and without thinking correctly, she decides to keep following the trail that may lead to Dr. Dunley. Carmen and Joy protest, but she pushes ahead anyway. Shayna climbs onto a rock with the bear spray in her hands when she suddenly sees part of a leg that has been eaten in front of her. She looks around and starts to hallucinate, imagining she is back on the battlefield, melting as she deepens into her illusion. She crawls as if she is shrinking from the fire, but the sight of other soldiers forces her to slip up and fall off a cliff. Joy and Carmen approach the cliff to help their friend, but they cannot find her. The two descend to get a better view, but all they find is more blood, a bit splattered on the rock wall where Shayna fell. Joy and Carmen cannot find her body, meaning Shayna may have gone somewhere, so they step away from the cliff until they find a cave. They enter the cave, finding more blood inside, deducing that the answer to all their questions may be inside there. Carmen prepares to enter the cave and possibly confront the creature responsible for the trail of blood they have been following. She grabs a sharp wooden bat and uses a lighter to illuminate the path through the cave. Inside, they find Tara trapped in a wooden cage, and they free her. Tara is completely dazed, mentioning that someone else is also in the cave. Despite Tara's warning, Carmen's bravery overcomes her. As Carmen searches for the others, she finds Dr. Dunley in a shallow grave, covered in blood and injured. Realizing that Dr. Dunley cannot move, she tries to jump into the grave when she begins to hear noises and a monster drags the doctor away. Carmen becomes extremely shaken but immediately pulls away, as the monster now seems to be chasing her too. The monster is right behind her as she orders Joy and Tara to run. Eventually, Carmen finds herself backing up, shrinking from this monster. The light reveals the appearance of this creature, a deformed humanoid with blood dripping from its face. Outside, Joy inspects Tara's wounds. Tara is completely covered in blood, and the monster seems to have dug into her torso too. Carmen arrives at one of the exits of the cave and sees that she needs to jump. She makes a leap of faith, landing feet first in the water. She injures her foot in the fall, but manages to gather the strength to swim and reach the riverbank. Eventually, she swims away from the cave and sees Tara and Joy standing together. She feels relieved and waves to the two ahead, causing them to come closer. However, her relief quickly turns into fear when the monster walks through the woods behind Joy and Tara. The two move as fast as they can, contrary to Carmen, as her next course of action is to move to the water. The three manage to reach it and find another wooden cage in the lake. They swim to the cage, sheltering inside and praying that the monster does not find them. They wait inside until the creature appears above them, but they are safe from its claws. Eventually, it gives up and allows the three to regain their composure. Tara realizes she will not last long and does not want her life to end inside a cage. Recognizing what she can attempt to do, Carmen and Joy make little effort to stop her, so Tara goes out and offers herself to the monster so that the other two can escape. The monster seems to have vanished into the cave again, so the two exit the water and inspect Carmen's wound. She is bleeding deeply, so the two need to treat their injuries before dealing with the creature. Both manage to return to the tent where the group's first aid kits are. They begin a painful procedure to fix Carmen's wound, first cleaning it with alcohol and then stitching it. At that moment, Joy decides to reveal some important information to her best friend, realizing this may be the last time they talk. Joy saw Derek the night before the retreat. She let him into her house the previous night, pleading for her to talk to him. The two made love after Joy let him in the house, a mistake she admitted the next morning. She then had to leave, sending Derek away and not giving him a chance for reconciliation. Derek decided to take a violent approach, but Joy made this choice before him, immediately hitting him in the head with a vase and leaving him unconscious on the floor. Tara hears this and decides she must be clear with her best friend that Joy's lack of concern for herself puts their friendship at risk. Joy hears everything but feels betrayed by Carmen, despite the truth in her words. Outside, the sun has already set, so the two slowly exit the tent, trying to see if the monster is nearby. Joy goes out of the tent first, inspecting the area before letting Carmen out. When Carmen exits the tent, Joy sees the creature hovering over her, paralyzed. She is unable to react, while the monster immediately drags Carmen and the entire tent along with it. Joy tries to run after Carmen as she screams in the monster's capture, realizing that her pursuit of this creature is futile. She decides to take a different approach, packs her things, and calms herself, eventually preparing to do the unthinkable and return to the cave. She arrives at the place and stealthily starts her entry to find her best friend. She is careful not to make any noise that could alert the creature. Eventually, she has to climb down a wall, a challenging task given that she can't make any sound. As she descends, she notices bones belonging to a human, slightly disturbing her. Upon reaching the bottom, she inspects the area around her and re-examines the bones in front of her. A narrow path reveals itself within the wall, echoing with the sound of Carmen's screams. Without hesitation, Joy decides to cross to the other side and save her best friend. As she crawls through the narrow cave, her back brushes against the tunnel ceiling while blood, organs, and bones are splattered on the walls and floor. She crawls until she finds Shayna's head, a sight that makes her breathe heavily. She realizes she has a mission to accomplish, forcing herself to move toward the sound of her friend. Joy eventually reaches the end of the narrow path in the wall. The tunnel leads to another room where the monster stands in front of a cage containing Carmen. Joy stands up, and her hallucinations begin again. She sees the monster as Derek, slowly approaching and holding her in his arms. She apologizes to her hallucinated version of Derek, then pulls out a pocket knife and immediately stabs the monster. The monster loses control for a moment, screaming and thrashing as it tries to recover from the injury. Joy uses the opportunity to spray bear spray on the monster, causing further confusion. She then frees Carmen and helps her into the tunnel, pulling out a lighter to finalize the job. The same sound of the lighter that frightened her in the past is now her weapon of choice to end this nightmare. She ignites a flame and throws it at the creature, which catches fire and burns. Carmen and Joy then exit the cave. Carmen's injury makes the return journey difficult, but the two travel together through the terrain. The duo, covered in blood, finally reaches Carmen's car, ready to leave their new traumatic experience behind and return to modern society.